Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's a beautiful sunny morning here. I got my emotional support plant here, Sham. Okay, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this video as quickly as possible because we're all hungry for content. I've been trying to play Kog'maw, but I noticed how bizarre his build is, his options are, and I wanted to kinda explain this to myself.
I'm kind of retarded.
And probably some few other folks that don't know why you build this way. Why would you ever build Frostfire on an 80 carry? And I wanted to experiment with this build because usually I would just run the regular old Kog'Maw build with some crit built into it, then a crit with attack speed, probably Kraken Slayer, first item, well, after buying Berserker's Greaves. And yeah, I just wanted to find out the reason why would you build like this, but it's super obvious, and I'll explain in a minute. But before that, please consider subscribing. My life depends on it. Okay, with a little bit of shameless self-promoting out of the way, let's get into why would you build Kog'Maw like this. So it's actually fairly simple. A while ago, a patch was released to prevent the onslaught of the assassins that were dominating the Rift. I don't know, Kiana or Talon just one-shotting people and having ridiculous amount of mobility is the nature of assassins, that they could get in, get out, score a kill, 2, 3, or even a pentakill, and just leave without any consequence. The devs decided to not nerf the assassins, but give everyone increased defensive stats, which I think was one of the better decisions that they've made, considering Riot Games is not known for making solid decisions. So when that happened, a lot of builds have changed for different characters, because now one-shotting is less of an option. More resources are concentrated on long trades that lead to kills and long-term fight, etc., etc. So it only makes sense if 80 carries change a little bit too, huh? Because they also get these buffs to allow them to stay alive and not get one shot while also dealing damage. In Kog'Maw's case, this could be exploited to the maximum level because Kog'Maw's W is the greatest source of his damage, and it deals percentage health damage with it, which is the best thing you can have, and it increases his range, so he's arguably one of the best, if not the best, backline fighter, which can stay far from the fight but do as much as I don't know, a NASA scan in the middle of 5 people with 1,000 stacks in the late game, of course. Now, why would you build items like Ruin's Hurricane or Titanic Hydra? Well, that also ties to the W, because when you damage someone, the W, once you activate it, after you auto-attack someone, the on-hit effect of percentage health dealt as magic damage is applied to them. Now, you can spread this across multiple people using Ruin's Hurricane and Titanic Hydra. For example, you're fighting 3 people. Of course, your first priority will always be AD carries in the late game. But there are also other people around them, and Kog'Maw not having any kind of spread in his kit would have to focus only on a singular target, then targeting the other and the other and the other, which is not efficient in today's meta. So the best thing you could do is just build as much spread as you can across the enemy team, and both of these items apply on hit effects, so your W's, percent health magic damage, also applies to them, and they spread it across multiple people, therefore more damage, more stunts, more money, more wins, right? So it kind of makes sense. So your build is limited to quite a handful of items, and the most important stats you can get with Kog'Maw is attack speed. You want to apply this percent health magic damage as much as you can. Now, if you want to really spice things up and do percent health damage as AD, you also have the option of buying Blade of the Ruined King, which is also another great item and has been broken for a very, 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 very long time. So you do with Blade of the Ruined King, or Bork for short, you do percent health damage as attack damage, and Kog'Maw's W does magic percent health, so you deal hybrid amounts of max health damage, and they stack. For example, Bork does, I don't know how much percent health AD, but that stacks with W, and you deal even more. I think it does around 15 or something if you combine the Kog'Maw's W with Bork. But yeah, you have your spread, you have your Bork for more damage, percent health damage, and the final item that you buy, and then you have the mythic option. For mythic, you have two options. One being Immortal Shield Bow, and the other, which to my surprise is pretty great on Kog'Maw, is Frostfire Gauntlet. Now, Frostfire I've experimented with, and it's great, but at higher levels I don't think you need this as much as you do. In some scenarios it's still pretty great, but I don't think you want to do it that much, because it kinda puts a wrench in your plans, because you're an AD carry and your positioning matters, and you have to reposition every now and then to kite and to do, typical AD carry stuff. It slows you for a bit, but you're gonna be a panzer tank. That's also a valid option. Now you can take damage more and deal more damage. You'll deal damage because you're Kog'Maw, you're basically AoE Vayne, but you're more lovable. So shout out to you if you play Kog'Maw. But I will spit on the Vaynes if I see them, especially top lane, because I've had some rough experiences with them. So yeah, it only makes sense if you want to be more tanky, have a little bit more confidence in team fights, and survive more, because of the durability patch is also in your favor if you're doing that. You can also do that. However, you can also go the typical Immortal Shield Bow. Now you don't need really to be a genius to figure out why Immortal Shield Bow is good on AD carries. Grants survival, life steal, passive gate gives AD, albeit that's not the pretty highlight part of Immortal Shield Bow, and it doesn't affect your mobility that much. It makes you do a tiny bit more damage as your 20% crit chance has turned into AD thanks to Yonsu's Rage Blade. I also forgot about that. Oh, Jesus. That's the most important item you can buy because not the first passive, which also is pretty great, that turns your percent crit damage into AD, but that's not the important part here. The important part is that it applies your on-hit effects twice. You're already doing God knows how much amount of damage using your W and Bork and spreading it with Rurans and the Titanic Hydra. But apply Gyeonsu. Gyeonsu is not the right pronunciation.
Bruh.
Gwinsu. You're also basically doing all these effects, applying 2 times effect on all these percent health damage, hybrid damage that you do, and just it's just crazy. I'm just at a loss of words. These are the results that I had with these builds. Now, you need to know Kog'maw a little bit. He's not hard, but, you know, as everything in this game, you need to put time and effort into it, which is kind of why it sucks, because people play League to have fun. Is that possible? I don't think it is.
Hell no!
But, yeah, you need to put some time to know your matchups, and matchups are highly dependent on your supports. Now, this is the part where it gets a little bit sophisticated. Everything has been straightforward because you deal damage, percent health damage, you deal more percent health damage, you double that using the first item that you buy, which is Gwinsu's Rage Blade, and continue to build spread to apply that on-hit effect twice, and then you need to... These are all stuff that will happen in mid to late game, and the problem is getting to mid to late game. The late game, you just win. There's no way you lose this Kog'maw, unless you play Kog'maw to play for his passive, which is just sickening. The thought of it makes me want to puke. Okay. The best supports for Kog'maw is obviously Lulu. Being an enchanter, it can really tickle your pickles and hide your weaknesses in lane, not having that much mobility, for example, not having that much survivability. Because let's be honest, if your defenses are up because of the durability badge, so is the enemy's, and it will not make much difference in terms of the fight balance. So enchanters are very good on Kog'maw, and all-in supports like Thresh and Leona, especially the dive level 2 lady, are also very good. And furthermore, you can with your all-in supports, you can also look for kills. Other than that, it's very rare for you to get kills with enchanters early on. Of course, they'll be great aid to you in mid to late game where you shine more because you put points in your W. Your W is max. Now you put points in your Q for your increased attack speed, and start dishing out some serious pain to the enemy. Then they'll aid you, they'll mobilize you, they'll shield you, they'll increase the size of your PP, and chill, and all this and all that. So yeah, But there's another thing that bothers me that I want you guys to answer. Why? Kog'Maw is great, and I realize that because it's my favorite AD carry ever. Because just look at him. Look at this cute ball. Look at him. Look at him. I love him. So, yeah, it's a very questionable thing for me that why is Kog'Maw not picked? Is it because there are other better choices for AD carries or something that I'm missing here? Because let's be honest, you're just talking to a bronze player anyway, that has the knowledge of like platinum players, but just doesn't want to climb really because it's a gruesome experience. But I will do that because I have to put it in my competitive compilation. But yeah, thank you. I can't even thank people. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching, putting your time into this. I know it's like valuable, and if you like these kind of videos more, subscribe for more, and I promise that I improve my content one way or the other with each video that I share. But as for every YouTuber, their first videos are not their highlights, so please subscribe. Okay, I'd like to thank you guys for putting your time to reach the end of the video, and just thanks, and I will hopefully see you in the next one.